Hello all my dear students and welcome to Sri Jendra Rank Zone classes. I'm your mentor Amit Ajmani, and in this class we'll be studying further the periodic classification of elements and the important questions related to the chapter. In the previous class we have discussed a few questions and we have left that just for the sake that you should be able to learn, and now in this class you should be able to attempt these questions in a much better way. And I really hope that you have actually done what I asked you to do. If not, then I think it is really wrong and no comments about it. If yes, you will be benefited and you will feel the difference between yesterday and today. Let's start up with the remaining questions of periodic classification of elements. Till question number 40 we have discussed in the previous class, and let us start with question number 41 today. Where would you locate the element with electronic configuration 2,8 in the modern periodic table? This question we have taken the same question in the previous lecture also. 2,8 means it belongs to the 18th group because it is an inert gas having completed its octet. So it will be group 18. So C is the right answer. Let us see the next question. Which of the following is the outermost shell for elements of period 2? Now we must know that the number of periods decides the number of shells. So if the number of period is 2, that means this will have 2 shells and these 2 shells are KL. So L will be the outermost shell and LB is the right answer that we are going to mark for this question. Next question is, which of the following elements exhibit maximum number of valence electrons? So for that we should know their atomic numbers and accordingly the atomic configurations. Sodium, the number of valence electrons are 1, 281. Aluminium is 3, 283. Silicon is 4, 284. And phosphorus is 5. So the phosphorus contains the maximum number of valence electrons. So D, phosphorus will be the right answer. Next question. Which of the following gives the correct increasing order of the atomic radii of oxygen, fluorine and nitrogen? Now, when we are considering oxygen, fluorine, nitrogen, they belong to the same period. And in a period going from left to right, we know that always the atomic size decreases. So out of oxygen, fluorine and nitrogen, nitrogen will have the maximum atomic size, and oxygen next, and fluorine will have the least atomic size because nitrogen comes first, then oxygen, then fluorine as per the atomic sizes. And if we are going to relate it in the increasing order, then in that case we will write fluorine first, then oxygen and then nitrogen. And the correct sequence is given to us in option number D. First comes fluorine and oxygen and nitrogen. It will be opposite going on. Clear? So D is the right answer. Coming to the next question. Which among the following element has the largest atomic radii? The option given are sodium, potassium, magnesium and calcium. Now sodium has got 3 shells, 281. Magnesium is 282, again 3 shells. Calcium is 2882 and potassium is 2881. So when we talk about sodium and potassium, the potassium element has got bigger size. When we talk about magnesium and calcium belonging to the same group, calcium has got bigger size. Now the comparison is to be done between potassium and calcium. Both of them belong to the same period, fourth period. Potassium will come first and calcium later. And since we know that in a periodic tables period, the atomic size decreases as we move from left to right. So potassium will have a bigger size, then it will be calcium. So the element having the largest atomic radii out of these four is potassium. C is the right answer. Clear? Coming to the next question. Which of the following elements does not lose an electron easily? Sodium is a metal, it loses electron easily. Fluorine is a non-metal, it will not lose an electron easily. Remaining magnesium and aluminum are also metals and they have all the tendency to lose electrons, whether it is sodium, magnesium or aluminum. So it will be B, fluorine, which is actually a non-metal, and that is why it will not lose an electron easily because they have the tendency to gain electrons. Fine. So B, fluorine is the answer you need to mark. Coming to the next question, which of the following elements will form an acidic oxide? Now, acidic oxides are formed by non-metals. So, we need to see which one of these are the non-metals. Number one option is element with atomic number 7, element with atomic number 3, element with atomic number 12, element with atomic number 19. In the previous class, I told you all that whenever atomic numbers are given to us, the first step straightforward that you should do is do their electronic configuration. K, L, M, N. You will get all the details regarding this element. Let us see. The first element atomic number is 7. It will be 2, 5. Second one will be 2, 1. Third one is 2, 8, 2, and fourth is 2, 8, 8, 1. Now this is having one valence electron, it's a metal, it will form basic oxide. Again valence electron 2, metal, basic oxide, valence electron 1, metal, basic oxide, valence electron 5. This will be a non-metal and hence this will form acidic oxide. So A is the right choice. Clear? Next question. An element with atomic number 14 is hard and forms acidic oxide and a covalent halide. Now, because it is forming both these, it is a metalloid, and that is what exactly being asked. To which of the following categories does the element belong? Group 14, hard, acidic oxide, covalent halide, points to one thing that it's a metalloid. That is why it will be found in the category of metalloids. So B is the right answer. Next question says, which one of the following does not increase while moving down the group of the periodic table? Atomic radius, it increases because the number of shells increase when we go down in a particular group. Metallic character, it also increases going down in a group. Valence electrons, they do not increase. Why? Because the number of valence electrons always remains same for all the elements in any particular group, and that is actually the main reason why they are placed in one particular group, because they all have got the same number of valence electrons. due to which their chemical properties are same. Next option, number of shells in an element, it will increase. Because of this only the atomic radius increases. So C is the incorrect statement and it is our correct option. We'll mark C to be the answer to this question. Clear? Coming to the next question. Which of the following set of elements is written in order of their increasing metallic character? This is exactly the same question as we have done in the previous class, right? In which we have been given option beryllium, magnesium, calcium, sodium, lithium, potassium, magnesium, aluminium, silicon, carbon, oxygen and nitrogen. Now in the previous class, actually it was given as Q and I told you that there is no element having the symbol Q. Fine. It is the same question. There must have been misprinting there. So it is O. It is oxygen. And the right answer that we have seen there was the increasing metallic character will be beryllium, then magnesium, then calcium. Why is it so? Because they all belong to the same group in which berylliums come first, then magnesium, then calcium. It is 2, 2, magnesium is 2, 8, 2 and calcium is 2, 8, 8, 2. So as we go down in a particular group, then in that case the metallic character increases and they are in the right order. In case of rest of them, then in that case lithium, sodium and potassium were in the right order, but here it is given in the wrong way. Let us come to this question. Sodium is given first. It should have been lithium coming first. So A is the right answer. Fine. Coming to the next question. Which of the following is most reactive? Out of these, once again, hydrogen is not considered. Rest are lithium, sodium and potassium. They belong to the same group. And in the groups, when we go down, the reactivity increases. So it should be K, potassium, which is the most reactive out of lithium, sodium, hydrogen and potassium. Clear? Same properties of elements in periods and groups, they have been asked in various different ways, but it remains the same properties. For example, next question is which of the following is most reactive? Fluorine, chlorine, bromine and iodine. Now these are all non-metals given in the right sequence, but the main thing is that the reactivity in the groups of non-metals, the reactivity of elements in non-metallic groups, it decreases while going down. So the element coming first will be top reactive, element coming at the bottom will be least reactive, and element at the top is fluorine. So out of these, fluorine will be the most reactive. Clear? Next question. I think this is the most simple question you will ever find. Chlorine atomic number is 17. Belongs to which group and which period? Atomic number is given. Simply do its electronic configuration. The number of valence electrons always tell us the number of group. Since the number of valence electron is 7, so it belongs to 17th group. And for finding the period, we just need to see how many shells are present. So we have got 287 KLM. 3 shells are present, so it will belong to the third period. And 17th group, which is our B option, 17th group and third period, we'll mark it up. Clear? Next is silicon. Atomic number is 14. Once again doing the electronic configuration, 284. It belongs to the 14th group. And 14th group, makes it similar to that of metalloids. It's not a metal, it's not a non-metal, it doesn't form ionic compounds. So it is a metalloid which forms covalent compounds. So C will be the answer you are going to mark. Coming to the next question. Which of the following is non-metal and to which group does it belong? Lead is a metal, gallium is a metal, bromine is a non-metal, cadmium is a metal. So bromine is a non-metal and we know it belongs to the 17th group. That is the group of halogens. Clear? Next, who is known as the father of chemistry? It's Lavoisier. Lavoisier is called the father of chemistry, right? Next is, who was awarded the first Nobel Prize in chemistry? It was Van 't Hoff. Now these are the type of questions in which the simple basic rule applies. If you know the answer, it's correct. If you don't know the answer, you cannot actually guess it. So these are the type of questions in which if you know the answer, good. If you don't know the answer, simply note them down in your copies or registers. Because after a month or so, your human memory is not so sharp, which is going to help you out for this, and you will be able to retain all the things. Please note down. And please make sure that whatever you are noting down in your registers, after every 15 odd days, every 15 to 20 days, just open this register and go through all what you have written so that everything remains fresh in your mind. Got it? Next question. Law of octaves was proposed by, quite simple, we know it was Newland who proposed the law of octaves. Fine. Coming to the next question. The elements of group 18 are called, they are called noble gases, we know that. Halogens is the name given to group 17 elements. Chalcogens, group 16 elements. Alkaline earth metals, group second element. This also you need and you revise side by side. Next, according to the modern periodic law of elements, the variation in properties of elements is related to their, it is the atomic number. It's not the atomic mass or the mass number or nuclear mass. It is the atomic number. It is considered to be the more fundamental property as compared to atomic mass, which was a basis for classification for Mendeleev and Dobriner and Newland, but it was Moseley, because of whom this atomic number became the basis for classification of elements. Next, Dobriner's triad of elements is illustrated by, is it cobalt, iron, nickel, or fluorine, chlorine, iodine, or sodium, potassium, cesium, or lithium, sodium, potassium? Dobriner triad was lithium, sodium, potassium. Out of these, he also gave other triads in which he has taken calcium, barium, and strontium, and chlorine, bromine, and iodine. So out of these choices, it is lithium, sodium, and potassium, which was a Dobriner triad alkali metal group. This was the name given by him. Fine. Next question. Which of the element has maximum ionization energy? Is it carbon or boron or nitrogen or oxygen? Out of these, nitrogen has got the maximum ionization energy. So B will be the right answer. Next, which of the following has the largest atomic size? Options are One is aluminium, normal atom. Then it is Al2 plus, which doesn't exist. Al1 plus doesn't exist. Al3 plus, it is the ionic form. But we know, we have discussed it previously also, that as compared to the atom, the ions, cations are smaller in size because they are becoming the cations on losing their valence electrons and their valence shell. So the atom is always bigger in size as compared to its cations. So aluminium A will be the right answer marked by us. Clear? Next question is, element A has 11 protons in its nucleus. 11 protons simply means that its atomic number is also 11. So if atomic number is 11, doing the electronic configuration 281, this is the valence electron 1. So it belongs to first group, and third period having 3 shells. Now coming to the question, to which group of the periodic table it will belong? It will belong to the first group because it has got one valence electron. So A, first group, is the right answer. Got it? Next, the family of elements with the highest ionization enthalpy is. Now, enthalpy exactly, you must have studied about enthalpy, and it is the noble gases which have got the highest ionization enthalpy. Fine. So, we will mark C, noble gases, to be our right answer. Coming to the next question, which of the following is not a transition metal? Out of silver, tungsten, lead and manganese, it is the lead which is a normal light element or a metal. Rest are all transition metals. Silver, tungsten and manganese, they are all transition metals. Lead is a light metal. So B, lead, will be the answer to question number 66. Fine. Coming to the next question, the element which exists in liquid state at room temperature. I think it's a wrong question asked by you people. This question should have been asked by a 6th or 7th class student because even they know the answer. And what is the answer? It is mercury. Mercury is the only metal which is liquid at room temperature. Fine. Another option given is bromine. Bromine is the only non-metal which is liquid at room temperature. Okay. So right now we are going to mark mercury because it is the element which exists in liquid state at room temperature. Then if we have been asked about the non-metals or the elements, we would have written bromine also. Next, which amongst the following is not an alkali metal? What are alkali metals? Alkali metals are the metals belonging to the group 1 of the periodic table, and those are lithium, sodium, potassium, niobium and cesium. Magnesium does not belong to the group 1, it belongs to group 2, and that is why it is not an alkali metal, and that is why we are going to mark C to be our right answer. Next question, who developed the long form of the periodic table? It was Niels Bohr. It was Niels Bohr who developed the long form of or the modern periodic table. Next question is, Mendeleev's periodic table is based on, it is based on atomic masses of the elements. It is the modern periodic table which is based on atomic number, and out of both, nothing is based on atomic value or atomic radii. So atomic mass is what Mendeleev depended upon, and nowadays we have classified elements on the basis of atomic number. So for this question, B, atomic mass, is the answer. Let us see the next question. On going from left to right in a period in the periodic table, the electronegativity, that means the non-metallic character, always increases. The electropositivity decreases and electronegativity increases. So A, increases, will be the answer. Next question is, which of the following is isoelectronic with carbon atom? Is it sodium oxide ion, aluminium ion, or nitride ion? Nitrogen ion. It is the nitrogen ion which is isoelectric with carbon. So D will be the right answer. Next, which of the following have same number of electrons in the outermost orbits? Now, out of arsenic and bismuth, lead and Sb, Sb is antimony. Nitrogen and oxygen, phosphorus and calcium. Which of them have the same number of electrons in the outermost orbit, or which of them belong to the same group he is trying to ask? It is arsenic and bismuth. They both belong to the 15th group. So they will have the same number of electronic configuration. Next question is, which of the following remains unchanged on descending a group in the periodic table? Is it the valence electrons? Yes, the valence electrons do not change. Atomic size will change, it will decrease, density will alter, metallic character will change, but the valence electrons remain same in all the elements of any particular group. So A will be the answer to mark. Coming to the next question, which pair of electrons belong to the same group? Again and again we have been asked the same question, and elements with various atomic numbers are given to us, and we know that first of all we need to do their electronic configurations, right? After then only we'll be able to make out as to which of these will belong to the same group. Let us do it. 17 means 2, 8, 7, and 38 means 2, 8, 18, 8, 2. So now they do not belong to the same group because they have different valence electrons. Talking about 20 and 40, it is 2, 8, 8, 2. It is belonging to the second group. Talking about 40, it is 2, 8, 18, 8, 4. So this is once again not a pair of the same group. Then 17 and 35, it is 2, 8, 7, and 35 is 2, 8, 18, 7. Now they belong to the same group because they are the elements having same number of valence electrons. So C, elements with atomic number 17 and 35, they belong to the same group, and the group they belong to is 17th group, group of halogens. Clear? Next, elements of group 2 are called, what are they called? They are called alkali earth metals. Alkali metals are the group 1 elements, halogens group 17 elements, and transition are from group 3 to 12. Clear? So it is alkali earth metals, which is the name given to the metals of group 2. Next, Eka aluminium and Eka silicon are known as gallium and germanium. Fine. Gallium and germanium, these were the elements to whom Mendeleev gave the name Eka aluminium and Eka silicon. So A will be our right answer. Next question is, Which of the following is the most electronegative element? This we have seen 2 or 3 times, and we know that it is fluorine. Fluorine is the element which comes on the top of the non-metallic 17th group, that is of the halogen group. And in non-metals, we have already justified and gave the reason that in non-metals, when we go down in a group, the reactivity decreases. So the element at the top has the most electronegative negativity and it is most reactive, which is fluorine in this case. Clear? Coming to the next question, the correct decreasing order of the size of the following ions is. Now, what is the difference between them? If we relate, one is lithium ion, one is hydrogen ion, cation, and one is hydrogen anion. Right? Now, when we talk about the decreasing order of size, then size will be either as per in a group or in a period. And we know that hydrogen and lithium, even though they do not belong to the same group. Why? Because hydrogen is never considered as an alkali metal. It is not considered to be a part of group 1 element like lithium is. It is placed above group 1 elements. But because they have got both of them one valence electron, that is why we can relate that hydrogen comes first, then lithium. Right? So, normal atom, lithium and hydrogen, if we relate, then in that case, lithium should be having better, bigger size as compared to hydrogen. And same with the case of ions. Lithium ion will have a bigger size as compared to hydrogen ion when we talk about cations. But we know that anions are bigger. So now hydride ion will come first, then comes lithium ion, and then comes the hydrogen ion. And because it is the decreasing order, so we will write it to be hydrogen ion is bigger in size than lithium and lithium is bigger in size than hydrogen ion cation. So C is the right answer. You need to relate the question. These are the type of questions which will require some consideration, some brainstorming, some thought process going in. Do not just make wild guesses. Do not try to attempt the questions in air. Think about the difference, why, what, how. These are the things that you need to feed your mind with and you will get your answer most of the times. And importantly, that will be a correct answer, which is more important. Anybody is going to make a wild guess and mark any particular option to be the right answer, but we are more bothered about the right answers which are going to give us marks. Fine. So this is such a type of question which actually requires simple concept and thought involvement. Clear? Let's see the next question. The next question is the one which has confused many students, and to be very honest, it terrified many students. Let us see what the question is. The question is, what is the atomic number of the next halogen after AT atomic number 85? Now, first thing is, what is AT? Astatine. Second important thing is, the question comes in the mind of the students, sir, do we have to learn the whole of the periodic table? How is it possible to learn with each and every element and its atomic number? No, you don't have to. So how you are going to give the answer of this particular question? Quite simple. We know the KLMN configuration says that it is 2, the maximum number of electrons in K shell, then 8, then 18, then 32, then 50. So you just need to simply add 32. just in order to complete the previous shell and to once again get back to the same valence electrons. So 85, we need to add 32 and we will get 117. So this will be the atomic number of the next halogen after astatine. Fine. Coming to the next question is, which group of the periodic table contains no metal? Now this is the seventh A group. C is the right answer. It contains no metals. Clear? Coming to the next question. The atomic radius decreases in a period due to. Now why it decreases? We have studied while we were taking up the characteristics that it is due to the increase in nucleus attraction. So we are going to mark A to be our answer, that the atomic radius decreases in a period when we go from left to right because of the increase in nucleus attraction, which makes the size of the atom compact. Coming to the next question. Match the column A with column B. Now in column A, we have got alkaline earth metals, we have got radioactive element, we have got alkali metal and a metalloid. And in column B, we have been given the symbols of a few elements Rb, As, Mg and Fr. Now, maybe you don't know all of these, but I think you should be able to relate a few. For example, we know that alkaline earth metals are the elements in the group 2 of the periodic table. And out of these, we simply know that magnesium is the one which belongs to group 2 of the periodic table because it has got 2 valence electrons. Radioactive element, maybe you are not aware which one is them. Alkali metal. Now which one is the alkali metal out of these? The alkali metal is the one which belongs to the group 1, and we have been studying so many times since we have started doing the questions that the group 1 elements are lithium, sodium, potassium, cesium, niobium. So Rb is an alkali metal. These two, when we are able to relate out of these four, we'll get our answer. Let us see. The A column should mark with 3. So the A marking with 1, no, 2, no, 4, no. It is 3. Let us counter check. C column matches with 1. C column matches with the first of column B. This is our right answer. Now, in order to retain, we can relate that the radioactive element is Fr and the metalloid is As arsenic. Fine. So you need to attempt such type of questions based on what all information and knowledge you have. Let us come to the next question. How many elements are found in nature? We know that 92 is the right answer. These are the elements which are naturally occurring out of the 118 that we have been studying and that we know till now. Out of these, the naturally occurring are 92. Coming to the next question. The element with atomic number 9, 17, 35, 53 and 85 are all atomic numbers are given. Just try to relate the atomic configuration. The atomic configuration of this element is 2, 7. This is 7. It simply means it belongs to the 17th group, and the 17th group elements are called halogens. In order to counter check, confirm the next one. Atomic number 17 means 287. Again a halogen. Then 35, 2, 8, 18, 7. So all of these belong to group number 17 and all of these are halogens. So D is the right answer to this question. Right? Next question. The neutral particle of an atom is simplest question I think which you have ever encountered till now in this chapter. We know that the neutral element is neutron. No need to tell about electrons and protons. I know you already know it. So let us come to the next question directly. An atom is electrically neutral. Why so? Because we know that the positively charged protons and the negatively charged electrons are equal to each other. That is why they cancel out each other's charge, and that is why the atom as a whole is electrically neutral even after the presence of charged particles like protons and electrons in it. So C is the right answer. Fine. Next question is the third energy level is the orbit or the shell, and we know that the first shell is K, second is L, third is M, fourth is N, fifth is O. So the third one is the M energy level, energy shell. M is the third one. So the right answer will be B. Fine. Coming to the next question, very simple again. The atomic number of an atom with electronic configuration 281 is. Now 281, we know that these are the number of electrons. Just adding them up, we will get the atomic number. This is 2 plus 8 plus 1 comes out to be 11. And this is sodium. We know it that this is sodium whose electronic configuration is given to us, and the D part, that is 11, is the right answer. Fine. Next question is the number of electrons present in the outermost shell of all noble gases except helium is, again quite simple, it is the 8, B part. All the noble gases, they have their completely filled octet, right? Octet rule says that the outermost shell cannot have more than 8 electrons. So all the elements having 8 electrons in their outermost shell, they are all noble gases, in which exception is helium, which has got only one shell K, and in that K shell only 2 electrons are present. Why? Because the maximum number of electrons which may be present in the K shell is 2. So in this question, B, that is 8, is the right answer. Going to the next question, the most active step in the development of periodic table was taken by, was it Mendeleev or Dalton or Avogadro or Cavendish? It was Mendeleev who took the most active step. Number one, he made the periodic table consisting of groups and periods. He left the gaps in which the elements yet to be discovered were there, predicting all the properties. So it was Mendeleev whose effort bore fruit just because of the concept given by Moseley to convert the fundamental property from atomic mass to atomic number. The rest of the things Mendeleev had already done in his time. So the right answer is Mendeleev. Right? Next, in the periodic table down in fluorine group. Fluorine group is the 17th group, halogen group. So when we are going down in the fluorine group, what will happen? Reactivity will increase. No, it is incorrect, because in the non-metallic groups, reactivity decreases as we go down. Electronegativity will increase. It is one or the same thing as reactivity. No, the electronegativity also decreases. Ionic radius will increase. Yes, this is the answer with star. Yes, because the size of atom increases when we go down. And why so? You need to know the reason also, because the number of shells are increasing. Ionization potential will increase. No, it decreases. So ultimately C is the right answer that we are going to mark for this particular question. Right? Next question is, arrange in the increasing order of ionic radii the elements oxygen, carbon, fluorine, chlorine and bromine? Now this is a very good question. Why it is a good question? Because it is making use of both the fundamentals. First is the ionic radii in a period and in a group as well. If we try to relate, then in that case we know that oxygen is atomic number is 8, so electronic configuration is 2,4. Carbon is, sorry, oxygen is 2,6, carbon is 2,4, fluorine is 2,7. These three, they belong to the same period, second period. And we know that in case of a period going from left to right, then in that case the atomic size will decrease. So as per it, the fluorine comes last, so it will have the least atomic size. And because we are going to arrange them in the increasing order, we will write fluorine first. Then it will be oxygen coming next, and then it will be carbon coming last. This we have already done in one of the previous questions, but it was only till here. But important thing, here we have the addition of chlorine and bromine as well. And now fluorine, then chlorine, then bromine. This is what we have, the elements in the same group. Obviously, chlorine and bromine, they will have a bigger atomic size, right? So first of all, as per the period, we will consider fluorine, then oxygen, then carbon. And now all the elements of the periods are over. We are coming to the group part. Then we will have chlorine and bromine. Why so? Because we have just said that in a group the atomic size increases when we go down. So chlorine will be bigger than fluorine or any of the elements of group or period 2. Then bromine, because bromine will be bigger than chlorine as it comes down in the same group as that of chlorine. So this is our actual arrangement as per the increasing order, and this arrangement has been given in the A option. First option, first of all fluorine, then oxygen, then carbon as we have seen here, then chlorine and then bromine. This is a very nice question. Clear? Coming to the next question. What are the three elements of Dobrina's triad? We have seen the Dobrina triad. He gave the first triad, and that is lithium, sodium and potassium. These are the alkali metal triad, right? Second one he gave of the calcium, barium and strontium, alkaline earth metal. And third one was his chlorine, bromine and iodine. That was the halogen group. So out of all the options given, this is what we can make out. This is the right answer, D. That is lithium, sodium and potassium. It was one of the triads given by Dobriner. Clear? Next question is, which of the following set has the strongest tendency to form anions? When we are talking about the strongest tendency to form anions, we'll be considering all the non-metals, because non-metals will form anions. If we look at all the options given, we have got manganese and chromium, we have got sodium, magnesium, aluminium, all metals, gallium, titanium, metals. It is only the D option in which we have got nitrogen, oxygen and fluorine. All of the three elements are non-metals. all of these three elements are going to form anions. So D is the option that we are going to mark as the right option. Clear? Let's see what the examiner is asking us in the next question. According to the periodic law of elements, the variation in properties of elements is related to their. When we are talking about periodic law, we are talking about modern periodic law, and we know that the modern periodic law is considering the atomic number to be more fundamental property. So in this question, atomic numbers, that is option number C, is the right answer. Clear? Let us see the next question. Which element has the maximum density? Now this is what you have not studied while we were taking the teaching class. Just remember, it is OS. Now what is OS? This is osmium, right? This has the maximum density out of lithium, bismuth and hydrogen. Osmium, OS. This is one of those questions which you may note down, or rather you should note down for future reference, right? Let us see the next question. The number of elements in the fifth period of periodic table are. How many elements are present in the fifth period? We need to relate. In period number 1, they are just two elements, hydrogen and helium. In period number 2 as well as 3, there are 8 elements. In period number 4 as well as period number 5, there are 18 elements. Sixth period is the longest period, having 32 elements. Seventh period is still incomplete, consisting of 26 elements till now. So when we are being asked about the fifth period, the answer is 18 elements are present in the fifth period of the periodic table, and you need to relate and remember the rest of the periods also, because they may also be asked. Fine. Let us see the next question. One element M is present in the 13th group. Now, since this element M is present in the 13th group, we can already conclude that this M is a metal. First thing. Second thing, this M belonging to the 13th group will have 3 valence electrons. Having 3 valence electrons means it is going to lose these 3 electrons in order to become stable. That means it has got valency 3. What exactly is being asked from us is we have to tell the formula of its chloride. So when this metal M reacts with chlorine, it has valency 1. We will cross multiply the valency and the formula will become MCl3, which is given in the first option, MCl3. This is the answer to this question. Got it? Coming to the next, the law of octaves was only applicable up to which element? We have done it in the previous class, I suppose, the same exact question. It is done till calcium. The law of octaves. Who gave the law of octaves? It was given by Newland. So the Newland's law of octaves, it worked well with the lighter elements, and it worked well till calcium only. Till calcium, all the elements, when they were arranged in their increasing atomic masses, the eighth element showed similar chemical properties, but till calcium only. After that, his law didn't work well. So the answer is B, that is calcium. Coming to the next question, Eka aluminium was replaced by which element later on? Now, Eka aluminium, Eka boron, Eka silicon, all three I told you so many times, you need to learn. And Eka aluminium refers to gallium. Fine. This you need to all three of these, Aka aluminium, Aka boron, Aka silicon. You need to learn all these three of them, right? Aka aluminium is gallium, Aka silicon is germanium, and Aka boron is scandium. Clear? Coming to the next question, the element with atomic number 8. Now the atomic number is 8, so the electronic configuration will be 2,6, belonging to the 16th group. It will resemble with the element having atomic number. So we need to find among these elements which one belongs to the 16th group. And how we are going to find it? Simple, atomic numbers are given, do their atomic electronic configuration. Let us do it. 16, it means 2, 8, 6. Yes, this is also of 16th group. When we talk about 26, it will be 2, 8, 8 and 8. So this is inert gas. Talking about 27, 2, 8, 18. Is it 18? No. It will be 2, 8, 18 and sorry, it's 16. 1, it is actually cobalt, which is a transition element. So now we can say that here this 16 atomic number will be placed in the same group as that of atomic number 8, which is oxygen, and they both will resemble their properties because of being in the same group. Next, which element is not a noble gas? Quite simple. Helium is a noble gas, neon is a noble gas, argon is a noble gas, but radium, this is not a noble gas, and therefore it will be our correct answer. C, radium. Let us see the next question. In this question, examiner is asking that which of the following periodic property generally decreases along a period? Is it the metallic character or ionization energy or electron affinity or valency? So it is A, metallic character. This is the periodic property which generally decreases when we go from left to right in any particular period. Next question is, chloride and potassium ions are isoelectronic. Then their atomic sizes are same? No. Chloride ion is bigger than potassium ions. Yes, this is what we have done in lot many other questions also, right? Anion is bigger than cations. Potassium ions is relatively bigger? No. None of the above? No. So B is the right answer. Clear? So these are the questions which are related to periodic classification of elements, which we have already seen in the exams of various years, and these are the questions which you must be prepared with. You must learn these, and you also need to relate all the properties that were used to attempt these questions. Fine. So I hope that you must have noted down a few in your register, revise them again and again, rest whichever you knew, that is really good. And if you feel that you were lacking in any particular topic, any particular thing, after doing all these questions, you still feel that you need to revise a few things, kindly go ahead and learn them up. So this is all about periodic classification of elements. Quite important topic. Normally you need to relate the concepts, and this is quite simple except a few things that you need to learn, and you need to take care of the language and the options which are given, because in this particular chapter the options which are given to us are very confusing, and there is just a slight difference between them which we need to observe and relate. Clear? So time to end the class. I hope you must have understood each and everything taught today, and you will learn in the next class. We'll be meeting with the next chapter. Till then, Take care of yourself. Have a good time. Thank you so much for watching. Enjoy yourself, guys.